Back here so fast, but we now have a new severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued for those of you in Bledsoe, Ray, and Meigs counties. It does have a tornado possible tag on it. I'm not seeing any evidence of real rotation, but the wind mode has increased enough to where they've reissued this severe thunderstorm warning. So those of you in the path of this need to be seeking shelter here from Pikeville east over towards Spring City and Evansville and also the northern end of Meigs County. So just in for the next hour, we have a severe thunderstorm warning until 7:15 p.m. Eastern, 6:15 p.m. Central for Bledsoe, Ray, and north central Meigs counties. So spread the word to those of you if you know anybody in those areas and let them know that we do have a severe thunderstorm with damaging winds moving into their area. And I do want to emphasize here, this is the only warning in the entire region at this time. So, I mean, it just came on just as I went off air there just a few minutes ago. So we're back on, though, because we have this warning in effect. So I'm going to share this out here real quick because this is important information. But again, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning now for northern Bledsoe County, for most of Ray County, not including Dayton. Now, if you're in Dayton, this is staying north of you, so you're not going to have a problem in Dayton or Decatur. But this is mainly for Watts Bar and up towards Spring City, west over to Cold Spring, Melvine, Pikeville, New Harmony, Dayton Mountain, that area. That's going to be the area under this warning, and it's for this storm you see here, moving over the Pikeville vicinity. And it's moving right across 127 and points east from there at this time. So, again, like I say, if you know somebody in that area, feel free to tag them in the comments. I have that option open to where you can do so. So, if you, like for example, if you know somebody in Spring City, if you know somebody in 10 Mile, or if you know somebody even in Pikeville or New Harmony there, just make sure they know that they have a strong thunderstorm moving into their area at this time. So this is what we have at this time. Again, this is the one warning we got until 6:15 p.m. Central. That's 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So 6:15 p.m. Central, 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time is the extent of this warning. And I will read out the warning information here really quick. So again, a severe thunderstorm at 6:22 p.m. Eastern. A severe thunderstorm was located over Pikeville, moving east at 45 miles an hour. Hazard is 60 mile an hour wind gusts. It is radar indicated. Locations that are in the path of this include Pikeville, Spring City, Evansville, Peakland, Stinging Fork Falls, Piney Falls, Grandview, Melvine, Mount Crest, and Fall Creek Falls. Actually, Fall Creek Falls on the west side, but nonetheless here. So again, Pikeville, Spring City, Evansville, Peakland, Stinging Fork Falls, Piney Falls, Grandview, Melvine, and Mount Crest are in the path of this thunderstorm, so that could be severe. So we'll be watching that carefully over the next little bit. Also got another cell that's gotten strong over a Griffith Creek that's heading up towards Sequatchie County, so heads up around Dunlap. You got a gusty thunderstorm heading your way, but that one's non-severe at this time. But again, it's this one you see right in here, and I'll go back over here to show it to you a little bit better. It's not as crowded. But right over in here is where we're indicating this strong to severe thunderstorm. And let's look at the velocity here and see what it looks like on there. And I said, we're getting some bright returns in here, so that means there is some strong wind. Again, 50 to 60 miles an hour being indicated. So this storm did ramp up here a little bit fairly quickly, last 5-10 minutes. So that's why this warning was reissued and posted to the east here. So again, heads up in Liberty Hill. This is moving into your area now. Summer City, this is moving in also as we speak. You get Evansville there around Ray County High School. This is going to be heading your way over the next 10 minutes. And in Spring City, about the same. So what I'm going to do is give you guys a storm track here based on the speed of this. Now, I do want to note that this does have a tornado possible tag on it. That's out of a precautionary measure, but at this time, I'm not seeing any evidence of any tornadic rotation at this time. So that's some good news there. But again, the decision's a good one, though, to put that on there just in case, it were to re-strengthen. So what I'll do is I'll zoom in a little bit so we can get a little more community notice on that. So let's put on the track there, and let me put that out. And again, we'll put Spring City and 10 Mile in this. Again, so Liberty Hill, this will be in your area at 6:37 Eastern. Piney River area, so around Piney Falls and all that, around 647, 651 for Spring City, and 703 for 10 Mile in Meigs County. So these are the locations that are in the path of this thunderstorm, as well as New Harmony and Spring City. It's pretty much over those areas right now at this point. So those are the locations that are in the path of that. And also Grandview up in the northern end of Ray County. You're also in the path of this storm. Now Dayton and Graysville, as well as Decatur and Big Spring, you got this strong thunderstorm to the south and west, but this one's non-severe that's coming out of Dunlap. So you won't have to worry about the severe storm. It's passing to your north there. So it's going to stay north of Highway 30, but south of Highway 30, you still got some heavy rain and thunderstorm activity that's going to be moving in. And then looking down here to the south and west, some scattered thunderstorms continue across western Jackson County, extending into southeastern Franklin, into northern Marion County. So Griffith Creek, you're getting in on this activity as we speak. And that's going to move into Cartwright here very soon with some heavy downpours and some gusty winds. Lightning counts down, so that's a good sign. So hopefully that continues to be a sign that these storms are weakening as they move east. Dunlap, this is heading into your area here pretty soon. So expect some heavy rain there. You've already had a round on the north side of town, but you're going to have another round here very soon. And in Cumberland County, not to forget about you guys, but you also got a strong thunderstorm moving over Crossville, Fairfield Glade, Bucky's, Crab Orchard, Lake Tansy, Bowman, Rennie. These are the areas that are getting some heavy thunderstorm activity up in Cumberland County. Non-severe up in here, but you still got some intense activity up that way. The only warning that I am working right now is this one severe thunderstorm warning that's for Bledsoe, Ray, the northern half of Bledsoe, the northern half of Ray, in extreme north central Meigs counties, and that goes in effect through the next 43 minutes, I should say, until 6:15 p.m. Central. That's 7:15 Eastern Time. Again, I know you see that tornado possible tag on there, but not to blow it off by any means or underestimate it. I'm not seeing any evidence of a tornado at this time. So I said I think the Weather Service put that on there just to be out of precaution, and I totally understand that and respect that. So we'll just ride with that and just go forward with it. But at this moment, when I look at velocity here, I'm just seeing one color going from west to east. So that's an indication of straight line wind as opposed to tornadic wind. Again, if that changes, of course, I'll let you know. And trust me, I'll let you know if that changes because it'll probably form pretty quickly if it does. But at this time, this is mainly just a damaging wind threat for those of you on the east side of Pikeville, east of downtown, up on top of Walden's Ridge there, so right around Summer City, New Harmony, up to Liberty Hill. They're in Ray County, and eventually over towards Piney Falls, Spring City, Grandview area, and also Watts Bar. So this is also heading towards the Watts Bar Marine, or the Watts Bar and all that. So this is going to be the direction this heads in. So heads up in those areas for the next 30 minutes or so. And then again down here to the south here, some rain continuation here across Grundy County and northern Squatchy County, and also southern Warren and southern Van Buren counties. But at this time, nothing severe with these. And then out here to the east of that, we still got some decent little cells moving into Marion County and moving out into Squatchy County from the west here. So again, Sherwood, you got a heavy cell moving overhead that's moving over across right there across South Pitt Mountains. So think around Franklin State Forest area. So that's now going to move into Sweetens Cove and up towards Martin Springs there very soon with some torrential downpours, and not really seeing a lot of lightning, but you may get a rumble or two with it. And then that's going to move towards Little Squatchy and up towards Whitwell and Crossroads eventually down the line. And the direction of that, again, the direction of these thunderstorms is east-northeast. So that's the direction they're all moving in at this time. And again, they are, and I have to admit, they are just a little bit ahead of schedule. So the timing of this, thankfully, is working in our favor here and a little bit earlier. So that's a good sign going forward. So that's at least we're getting it in and out fairly quickly here, as opposed to it, slowing down and hanging around. But the one thing we have at this time is this one warning we got up in here across Bledsoe County. So this includes the Friendship areas. We get down to street level here where the strongest winds are. So New Harmony, Morgan Springs, Laurel Snow State Natural Area, towards Payne Spring, Evansville, you're in line to see this. So they're around the Ray County schools, you're in line to see this. Concord, Wolf Creek, Slabtown, Piney Shores Estates, Wolf Creek. There's downtown Spring City. So Spring City proper is right there, in line to see these gusty winds. Grandview is next, as well as Mount Sulphur. So these are some of the other communities that are in line to see this. And again, this is going to pass pretty close, if not just north of Watts Bar. So it's going to be very close to that area. And then out here to the east towards Ackerman Crossroad, and also 10 Mile. So this will go from Bledsoe County. So this thunderstorm here that's classified as severe will go from Bledsoe County into Ray County as it is now, and then from Ray County into northern Meigs County around 10 Mile, and then eventually up in here into southern Roane County. Then it will be out of our immediate coverage area and up into the Knoxville area by that point. So once this gets out of 10 Mile, then this will be out of our area. But again, we still got some other cells here to the south, but these are non-severe, and then this goes all the way back into Mississippi, and then back here to the west, out towards Nashville, Franklin, Tennessee, and points west. This is all just rain back in here, but all this rain is going to trickle its way to the east and southeast here over the next several hours here. But at least this back in here is nothing to really worry about. And a quick update for Cumberland County here. Just a strong thunderstorm moving across the Crossville area, as well as the Buckies and up towards Fairfield Glade. But again, this is a non-severe thunderstorm. Again, Indian Rock Lake is also getting some heavy rain, but it's getting ready to wrap up there very soon. So get ready in Crab Orchard. It's moving in soon. And then this is going to move into Morgan and Roane counties and move out of our area here very soon. And then down here to the south, again, here's that severe storm. Again, thankfully, from the looks of it here, and I could put it on a loop, this has come down in intensity a little bit. So when the cell was warned on, it actually re-intensified as it was just west of Pikeville there. But ever since it's went up and down the ever since it's went down to the valley and then back up the mountain, it's actually weakened again. So that's the good news. I mean, it's still a strong cell, it's still a strong thunderstorm, but it has come down in intensity just a little bit. So far so good on this one severe thunderstorm as it crosses from Bledsoe County and into Ray County, and eventually areas like near and north of Evansville and up into Spring City and Watts Bar Lake. And again, there's also some more warnings up in Kentucky, but those are moving away from us and not going to be an issue here. And we also got some more showers and storms to the south over Birmingham that are going to head up to the north and east. But so far, these down in here have not been severe. And a good reason for that, and I think velocity mode might show this decently, is because we've had this outflow boundary. So as you see here, here's the outflow boundary right in here. And as long as it stays ahead of these downpours and thunderstorms to the west, that will decrease the severe threat. As I said, it's shaping out to be somewhat similar to what we had the other night, where we had at the outflow, where the outflow ran out ahead of the storms and actually really helped and choked a lot of it off. So a very similar situation is happening here and really helping us out again in this instance. Now, of course, the tornado threat was always very low. I will say that up front. That was always very low, and I even have said it wasn't really a big concern. But the one thing you can never say is that one thing you can never say is that it's completely zero, because it's never completely zero. But at this moment, I'm not seeing that at this time, so that's the good thing. So as long as these downpours / thunderstorms stay outflow dominant, the highest severe warning that we'll get, as long as that stays the case, will be a severe thunderstorm warning at max, at most. Everything else will be sub-severe. In other words, below the severe criteria. So again, we only got one warning at this time, and that's for Bledsoe. And well, Bledsoe County, I'm giving you the all clear because that newest scan is pushing into Ray now. So this is pretty much now a Ray County deal, specifically around Spring City. So if you're in Spring City, you need to be inside, away from windows. Just wait this out for a good, 20 minutes or so, and then you can get back to what you're doing. So Pikeville, you're good. This is east of you now. Also, for those of you on the mountain there around New Harmony, In Summer City, this is moving to your east now. You still got rain continuing, but the worst of it's to your east now, so you're good there. And then down here to the south, Jackson County, I've not seen any signs of anything suspicious down here so far. It's been mostly heavy rain and gusty wind. And you can kind of tell here with these bright reds and bright greens that it's punching out some decent gusty wind here as it moves up towards Sand Mountain. Now, so far, we'll have to see how this behaves as it heads up the mountain, but hopefully it doesn't slow down the outflow boundaries to where it starts, where the storms may start spinning. But so far, I haven't seen any evidence of that. So, good thing here is for Jackson County, Franklin, Marion, Grundy, Squatchy, Van Buren, Warren, and even Bledsoe County. You guys are pretty much, at least right now, are not expected to have any kind of severe weather, at least at this time, other than the gusty winds on the leading edge and, of course, the heavy downpours. And let's be real here, the lightning has really come down in intensity a lot. The only strike that I'm seeing on this map is up in Crossville, and that's a non-severe storm. So, again, you may see a few rumbles, but that's about to the extent of it, and that's a good sign. When you have outflow undercutting these storms, that's a good sign. That's why I always say it's a good sign, because that actually helps decrease intensities. Again, we're still getting a pretty good punch of wind here that could be, again, 50 to 60 miles an hour along this leading edge, moving over Liberty Hill, and it's about to move on the north side of Evansville here. So right around where all those schools are there, Ray County High School and all that, this is going to move over you here pretty soon. And then up in here towards the Piney River area, there's the southern tip there of Watts Bar Lake, and there's Spring City. So Spring City, you're next up, and then 10 Mile there in Meigs County, right there along Highway 58, you're going to be next up there as well. And there's Watts Bar Highway that runs right there, right around Ackerman Crossroads. So that's going to be the area where this heavy sail crosses that is currently labeled as severe, but so far it's stayed below that from my point of view and from what I've seen here on velocities. All right, checking on you guys down in Squatchy County here. You got a big downpour here on the south side of Dunlap heading up East Valley Road near Center Point, but that's currently non-severe. Some good rain here along Highway 28 from Cartwright down to Whitwell, but that's non-severe at this time. Same thing goes for Martin Springs and Sweetens Cove. Got a good downpour there at the moment. That's crossing I-24, so be careful if you're out there driving. And then out here to the north of Stevenson, got a good downpour there that's heading towards Bridgeport and South Pittsburgh. And then down here to the south over Pleasant Groves and Skyline, some heavy rain continuation here, and also on the north side of Hollywood. Scottsboro looks like you're going to stay dry as this passes to your north. So Scottsboro, you'll avoid this, but there's more thunderstorm activity near Coleman County that may head up your way within about an hour or so. So definitely stay alert down there just in case you get some more rain continuation or whatever. But again, the velocities here continue to be, and I'll query some of the winds here. We'll start in Jackson County and move north. Again, showing in here, roughly, again, when you add up the two reds and greens here, that's about 20 to 30 miles an hour. So, again, nothing too crazy, but it is a little gusty along this leading edge. So you can kind of see here 20, 30 up into Marion County. And in Squatchy County, 30 to 40. They're in that strong cell south of downtown Dunlap. And then up here where the severe storm is, and actually it's not severe anymore. They just canceled the warning. So some great news there as this has fallen below severe levels. And again, this storm, right here, right off the wire, this thunderstorm has fallen below severe levels and is no longer a threat to the warned area. Therefore, the severe thunderstorm warning has been canceled. So for those of you in Bledsoe, Ray, and Meigs counties, you are clear. The severe thunderstorm warning has been canceled about 30 minutes early because this thunderstorm has fallen below severe levels. And as I said, it doesn't look really impressive. I mean, the winds are gusty along that leading edge, but thankfully these winds up in here are higher aloft as opposed to the surface. So that's a good thing. So you may still get some 30, maybe some 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts, but nothing too crazy with that. Again, we'll watch and see if that, were to re-intensify as it heads down the mountain. So we'll hang on here just to make sure that I don't have to rush back on here again. But as far as that, I'd have to run back on, but after only like 3 minutes. But again, we'll watch this cell also here. I mean, this cell's actually really intensified here south of Dunlap, and now they've issued a special weather statement. So this is going to replace the severe thunderstorm warning. So let me read this to you. This is a special weather statement that was just issued. Strong thunderstorms will impact Ray, Meigs, East Central Squatchy, Southeastern Bledsoe, Northeastern Hamilton, and Southwestern Roane counties through 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Central Time. At 5:44 p.m. Central, 6:40 p.m. Eastern, Doppler radar was tracking strong thunderstorms along a line extending from near Spring City to 6 miles south of Dunlap. The movement is east at 40 miles an hour. Hazard is radar indicated. Gusty winds could knock down tree limbs and blow around unsecured objects. Locations that are in the path of this include Dayton, Decatur, Saudi Daisy, Fairview, Spring City, Graysville, Flat Top Mountain, Peakland, Eagle Furnace, and Stinging Fork Falls. If outdoors, consider seeking shelter inside of a building. So again, so this is this blue polygon you see on here, and the one in Cumberland County also remains in effect for another 15 minutes. But this new one here includes parts of Squatchy, extreme southeast Bledsoe, but most of the county's good, and in northern Hamilton, Ray, and Meigs counties locally, and in Roane County up in the Knoxville market. But again, this does not include the city of Chattanooga. This does not include Cleveland yet, at least right now. This does not include Dunlap. This does not include Pikeville. The only areas that are included are Dayton, Graysville, Spring City, Sale Creek, north side of Saudi, Decatur, and 10 Mile, as well as Evansville. Those are the only locations that are involved in this one advisory here, and that's going to go in effect through the next 45 minutes. So that's how long this goes until. Not to mention down here to the south and west, not to ignore the other cells that are taking place here with gusty winds and heavy rain and moving across Jackson and Marion counties, extending from Pleasant Groves and Skyline up north through Stevenson, actually moving into Stevenson as we speak, and then moving into Bridgeport pretty much about now, or it's about to within the next 5 minutes, and then up into South Pitt, Kimball, Jasper, and then right up the valley there into Crossroads and Whitwell. But again, no warnings or advisories with these at this time, but there are definitely some heavy rain and gusty wind producers as those move off to the east. And I'll tell you what, the lightning count's not very impressive, and that's the good sign. I mean, I've not seen any real, and I can double check this to make sure. Yeah, there's really not much of any lightning showing up on this. So now I do want to note that watch real quick. That severe thunderstorm watch still remains in effect for the plateau. So basically Franklin, Coffee, Warren, Van Buren, Grundy, and up towards White County, Cumberland County. But you guys are pretty much out of the woods now. I know the watch technically still remains in effect until 8 p.m., but let's be real, you don't have anything to worry about up there anymore. So just kind of disregard the watch there. It's still technically in effect because the worst of this is to your east now, the main part of this. So, and I've not heard word, and so far there's not been any indication, at least yet, that there may be an extension east that may include east. So far I haven't seen any indication of that, but at least right now that's not the case. Again, these are the counties right in here that are highlighted in purple that are still technically under this watch. But again, the severe threat up in here at least is pretty much over with, as this is just rain here on the back side. So some good news there to follow up with that. And again, we'll check out this here. It looks like maybe a little bit of pea-sized hail here developing right over Mowbray here. So south of Lewis Chapel and heading up towards Flat Top and Mowbray, there might be some pea-sized hail in this storm as that moves off to the east. And thankfully that dissipated there on the last scan. So what I'm going to do here is put out some tracks so we can track this off to the east. I'll double check to make sure I have the right speed. It's moving east at 40, so it's slowed down just a little bit. Again, they've been kind of oscillating back and forth here between 40 and 50 miles an hour. So let's just put it at 45 here just to be safe. So that we can average it out there between the two. And I will edit that and then put out a track, and we'll zoom in a little closer so we can get some more communities on here. So there's Big Spring, there's Sale Creek, and for this southern end of the advisory area, this will be over Bakewell around 6:57, around 7 o'clock for Sale Creek. Remember, these are in Eastern time, so Central time, subtract an hour. Around 7:08 in Birchwood, around 7:16, 7:15 in Big Spring, and Decatur around 7:28, even though this northern part's probably going to get up there a little sooner. And then down here to the south, we'll track this part that's coming out of moving through Marion County right now. That's currently non-severe, but it's worth noting that it's there. And we'll track this east at about the same speed, so we'll keep it kind of conservative there and keep it on the low end on that side of things. Again, 6 o'clock for Haletown, so right around 6 o'clock for Mineral Springs and Haletown. Prentice Cooper around 6:08. 7:16 for Signal Mountain. Downtown Chattanooga around 7:18, but the east side of town is going to be a little bit later. 7:20 for Red Bank and 7:25 for Hickson on this segment. And then we'll go up here. We'll check out this part of the strong storm that's up around Spring City. And it's pretty much over there right now. But again, we'll track that towards 10 Mile, see when it gets there. Around 7:10 for 10 Mile. In Spring City, it's overhead right now for you. And then down here, so we'll do Jackson County too. Again, nothing really getting. We got Flat Rock and Eider up in here, but we'll go ahead and track that anyways. And we'll get this out here at least towards Dade County. So let me put that out there real quick. I don't know why it keeps moving like that, but let me. There we go. So in Trenton, this will be in your area around 7:26. Shiloh, Higdon area around 6:18. And in Fackler pretty much right now. So this cell's moving right over Fackler. And that's going to head up towards Sulphur Springs on the Jackson County side, and then Flat Rock as well here right around 6 o'clock or just after. So between 6 o'clock and 6:15 for those areas. So that's where I track it from there. And again, we just track that area. Again, Bridgeport, you're getting it right now. New Hope is getting in on the rain here soon, and South Pitt's already getting through it. Again, Jasper, it's about to get wet here very soon if it hadn't already. Heavy rain about to move into your area. Again, Foster Falls is getting a good downpour at this time. And then up here to the north, Whitwell Crossroads, Suck Creek, some good rain there, nothing severe. And we get back up into this advisory area that's currently non-severe, but still have some gusty wind, and of course that frequent heavy downpours, of course. Again, let me make sure that this radar, I know what's going on here. I don't know why this radar is not working on my end here. There we go. So here's the gusty winds here being indicated, and it'll show up better here on the high top radar. And you can see right here where you got this gradient here. So you got this red and this pink that's punching out. That's going to be the leading edge of the strong wind. So this is basically lined up right now, right along Highway 27 here, from Sale Creek up through Bakewell, Graysville, Dayton, Evansville, Spring City. And it's moving towards Watts Bar, Decatur, 10 Mile, and down here towards eventually Athens and Sweetwater. I haven't had a chance to talk about you guys over here yet because you haven't had anything, but heads up over here towards Athens, so McMinn County, into Monroe County. This is heading in your direction, so you'll be getting some gusty winds and heavy rain here very soon within the next half hour or so. So far, non-severe, but still something worth noting that you'll get some heavy rain and storm activity shortly. And then down here to the south, still also getting some indications of gusty winds moving across Highway 72 in Jackson County. So Scottsboro, Hollywood, Stevenson, Bridgeport, and it's about to move on top of Sand Mountain here. So far I haven't seen signs of this trying to spin here as this heads up the mountain. So as long as this gust front stays ahead of this rain here, we won't have to worry about anything big here for Sand Mountain, and that's a good thing. So as long as this gust front stays far enough out ahead, then I don't think we have to worry about any problems for Sand Mountain or really anywhere locally. Again, there's more thunderstorms building up from Coleman County that are moving to the north and east, and these are heading in our direction. So hopefully this doesn't end up turning into a flash flooding deal, especially if we start getting training. But again, what we're seeing here is more thunderstorm buildup as this moves from southwest to northeast. So all this stuff you see here is going to make it into our area here during the evening hours as we get into tonight. So again, right now the severe threat's looking low with this, but we're not quite at zero yet, especially from, we'll say, east of the Squatchy Valley and into East Tennessee, northeast Alabama, northwest Georgia. So these would be the areas that would see, if there were to be a stronger severe storm, this would be the area that would see it. And as I said, it'd be pretty isolated. Like, for example, that warning we had that expired earlier, that maybe come back on here for Bledsoe and Ray County, that was an isolated incident. So it'd be isolated if we had an additional severe thunderstorm, even though right now it's unlikely at this point. So everything's behaving. So that's the good news. Everything's behaving so far. So again, South Pitt, New Hope, Kimball, Jasper, heavy rain moving in. Squatchy, little Squatchy there, some heavy rain, as well as Victoria. Whitwell's kind of in a break right now, but there's more moving in from the west, so you'll have another round moving in pretty soon. And then up in here, so from Suck Creek up through Lone Oak, they're in the southeastern tip of Squatchy County, a pretty good downpour there. And that's going to move up towards Mowbray Mountain and Saudi here very soon. I know you haven't seen much down that way, but it'll get there soon. And then again, Chattanooga, you'll be getting in on this heavy rain activity in the city here, in the metro area here very soon. You haven't had anything all day, but that's going to change here as this moves in your direction. So again, there's Highway 27, pretty much up and down the highway. Heavy rain continuation. Gusty winds on the leading edge, could be 30 to 40 miles an hour. It is about to cross into Meigs County and move across the Tennessee River, and also down the Hiawassee here into Meigs County. And then after that, it'll be McMinn County, and then Monroe, and then eventually up north towards the Knoxville area here down the road. But again, so far this has behaved and stayed below severe levels. So we'll double check velocity here one more time just to make sure we don't have any kind of surprises trying to happen. And I think that's a contamination thing there south of Scottsboro. That doesn't look like a real, that doesn't look anything big down there. But again, at the same time, there's some gusty winds down in here, so that's the thing. So there's definitely some gusty winds there moving on top of sand. So heading up towards Section, Dutton, Pisgah, Langston, Henniger, Fort Payne, Rainsville, Valley Head. You'll be getting in on this here within the next 30 minutes or so. Sooner on the western end of the mountain. And then Marshall County, same thing there. Heavy rain and gusty wind moving in shortly in that area too. And again, this is all moving to the east-southeast here at about 40 to 45 miles an hour. It was moving at 50, but I haven't seen any evidence yet of any kind of change in that, at least at this point. So what I will do here is we're going to put a good time frame on all this. So let's go ahead and we'll put the recent modeling here into play, and I'm actually going to use a different model here. I'm going to take this off, and we're going to put on the HER here real quick and give you an idea over the next few hours, since this is probably the closest to up-to-date as you'll get. Now, I do want to note that there will be more thunderstorms, as I said, crossing up from North Alabama here during the evening, so I do want to note that real quick as that moves off to the east and northeast. So it will move back up as we go during the evening, so basically around sunset here. And notice we'll have more thunderstorms training up. Now, it will not be in these colors, so you can kind of disregard it. I think it's overdoing this a little bit, at least on the colors. But you kind of get the idea. More rain and thunderstorms will be possible during the night, at least the first half of the night, so we're not done with that yet at all. But the severe threat is going to diminish. It's going to diminish pretty quickly here with time as we get, at least gradually with time, I should say, during the night. So by the time we get towards midnight, that'll be done. At least any kind of severe storm should be done by that point, if there were to be any. And that would be mainly in our southern and eastern areas. Rest of us, just a good soaking rain that will continue on and off into the overnight and into the first part of your Thursday morning. Then that will end quickly. And I also want to show something here real quick that will, I wouldn't say blow your mind, but this is going to be something interesting. Notice this blue over here in the Smokies tomorrow morning? Believe it or not, that's actually snow as colder air moves in. So up in those highest peaks of the Smokies above Gatlinburg, yes, there's talk of snow up that way. So if you want to go on a road trip to see some snow, well, you can go above Gatlinburg here. It's once it lays up there, at least lightly, tomorrow, and there will be some snow falling up that way. And there may even be a few flurries up on the northern plateau towards Crossville, so there may be a few flurries up there. So that's just a signal right there of the colder air that's going to be moving in. So after all this rain and thunderstorm activity moves out, we're going to get chilly for a little bit. We're going to warm back up this weekend. Then it's going to get colder next week. So it's just a sign that, hey, those Smoky Mountains snow chances tomorrow morning up that way, up towards Gatlinburg, that's just a signal that winter ain't done yet. Winter's not done with us. We're still going to have cold snaps. We're still going to have that. And there will be the potential for a freeze. Just give you an early heads up. There will be the potential for a widespread frost and freeze, pretty much area-wide. Tuesday morning and Wednesday morning next week. Frost possible as temperatures drop into the 30s early Friday morning. So I thought I'd get that out there real quick, that we do have frost, freezes, and cold snaps on the way. Again, very normal. I mean, we see this all the time, during the spring. Nothing unusual, but just to let you know that not to get too comfortable with warm temperatures this time of the year, because we will get cold snaps, and they could be quite potent. So I know it's hard to believe. But again, back to the storm activity here real quick. Again, at this time, we don't have anything severe. Again, just some heavy rain, some gusty wind, maybe a few rumbles of thunder, but I'm getting rain in my place in the Jasper area right now, and I've not heard a clap of thunder at all. So that's another encouraging sign that these are not producing a lot of lightning. So that tells me that they're weak. So that's the best thing. Now, on the leading edge of this, I do want to point this out here. When you have thunderstorms like this, especially in a linear mode, you may see on the leading edge what's called a shelf cloud, a low-hanging, scary-looking, I call them scary-looking clouds, shelf clouds. I want to emphasize, if you see any scary-looking clouds, they're not tornadic, okay? They're not tornadic. They may look threatening, but they're at least not tornadic. It's just an indication that you got thunderstorms moving in with the heavy rain, gusty winds, but that's it with this. So at this time, I'm not seeing any kind of tornadic activity. I'm just seeing some good old-fashioned heavy downpours with gusty winds on the leading edge, perhaps a rumble or two mixed in some isolated spots, especially north, might have a little bit of pea-sized hail, but nothing big out of this. So again, you may see some creepy-looking clouds on the leading edge, but the good thing here is that they're not tornadic. So that's the good news with that. I'm going to answer some questions here real quick since we're not having any warnings. Yes, it is okay to drive from Spring City to Athens. Yes, it is. So, Gracie, you are more than free to drive from Spring City to Athens, but be careful. Be very careful, because you're going to run into some torrential downpours that take it slow, but there's not a threat of a tornado with that, so you're good. Do you think it might weaken before it gets to Fort Oglethorpe? Probably so. I really think that after this point, from this point forward, our severe threat here is rapidly diminishing at this point. I won't say it's gone down to zero, except for Middle Tennessee, but the severe threat's very low at this point. I think that's diminishing slowly but surely as we get towards sunset and tonight. So yes, I do believe we'll continue to see that weak trend. Power's out in Red Hill, getting some heavy rain at Luminary, Fire Tower, getting dark in Bridgeport. Let's see. Yeah, the storm's coming later. They shouldn't be a big deal. Considering the outflows already ran out ahead of these up in here, I don't think those will be an issue. Those are more just average heavy rain, maybe some rumbles of thunder, a little bit gusty on the wind, but nothing crazy. Whitwell, just rain for Whitwell right now. Athens, you'll be getting this here pretty soon. This heavy part right here you see, moving across Ray and northern Hamilton counties. That'll be heading toward you within the next 30 minutes to an hour. Yes, for Manchester, y'all are good for the night. Your watch has been canceled, so since the NWS canceled your watch and the worst of this is to your east, you're clear. Clouds look scary in Saudi. Yeah, you're probably getting that shelf cloud on the leading edge, but the good thing here is that it's non-severe. Let's see here. Pisgah, you'll be getting some gusty wind here very soon. In fact, that gust front's actually almost on top, coming up the mountain right now, so it's probably going to get a little gusty there for a little bit, but that's non-severe. May get some rain on the backside of that. Is it going to get bad in Whitwell? No. Just rain up there. Starting to rain in Stevenson. Heavy rain South Pitt. Green in Jasper. Not seeing it. Usually that's an indication of hail, but I haven't seen any indication of rotation or anything like that, so that's good. Let's see here. Starting to rain in Bryant. See, I'm reading through some of your reports here. Yeah, I believe Whitwell and most other areas are good for the night. I mean, I highly doubt that we'll get anything additional on the severe side of things. I think that threat's diminishing with every passing minute. I mean, unless something pops at the very last second. But if there were to be anything that were to turn severe, I believe that would be for mainly our northeast Alabama, northwest Georgia, and southeast Tennessee communities, east and south of the Squatchy Valley. So I think from the Squatchy Valley west and north, it's all good. So for most of you, it's good. Just pretty much from this point forward, rain is all it is. Rain and perhaps a rumble or two. Stevenson, okay, yes. Windy and Soddy, no rain yet. What about going to Chattanooga tonight, 2:30 from Dunlap? You're going to be likely running into rain, so you'll definitely want to be careful out there, especially once you get after dark. So yeah, definitely be careful out there if you're heading out tonight. So yeah, you'll likely be running into rain. Let's see here. New Hope just had a hard rain here. Yes, weakening trend continues. Now, there's a pretty strong cell here south of Dayton, but so far there's not been any indications of it turning severe or anything at this time. So, yeah, so far everything's behaving. So, yeah, there is a weakening trend. Raining in Flat Rock. Wind is up pretty good in Jasper. Just getting to Stevenson. Kimball, y'all are good. That's the good thing here. So y'all are good there. I mean, I think most of us are good for the most part. I mean, can't totally rule out maybe an isolated severe storm in southeast Tennessee, east of the Squatchy Valley, or south in the North Georgia or northeast Alabama here this evening. But I think the chance of that's lowering by every few minutes. Every few minutes that pass, that threat is gradually lowering and becoming more of just a good soaking rain, gusty wind on the leading edge, but nothing more than that. Again, of course, if that changes, I'll definitely let you know. Chickamauga, just rain. Wind may get a little gusty on the leading edge, but you got this rain that's coming out of Stevenson that's heading your way. But again, that's nothing severe. Going to get bad in Lewis Chapel, Dunlap? No. The worst of that storm is east of you. The heaviest, I should say, because it's non-severe, but nothing to worry about there. Soddy Daisy, just rain and gusty wind. Yes, correct on Bridgeport. Mostly rain and perhaps some thunder. Ringgold, Georgia, shouldn't be all that bad. Rain, gusty wind on the leading edge. But we're all going to get another round of rain here during the night tonight. So more moisture is going to be pumping in. I mean, what you see down here to the south, and I may need to put this on another loop. I could put this on composite on the other radar. And let me take this off shear rate real quick. And when I look at reflectivity here, you can see there's more rain and thunderstorms lining up down in here that are all moving northeast. So the front is all the way back here. So it's going to take some time for that front to get in here. So the front's still all the way back here at the Mississippi River. So it's going to take time for that to get here. So until then, we're going to have these waves of rain and thunderstorms moving from southwest to northeast. But the good thing here is that the severe threat is continuing to lower with that as we get further and further along. So as long as that trend continues, I believe we will be good for the rest of the night. And areas that have been in the severe thunderstorm watch, you don't have anything to worry about anymore. And by the way, that watch was just canceled. So I just got word in that watch was canceled. So those of you that were in the severe thunderstorm watch, so Franklin, Grundy, Lincoln, Moore, Van Buren, Warren, Cannon, DeKalb, Cumberland, White County, Putnam County. You guys are clear from that. The watch has been canceled for you, so the NWS just canceled that watch. It was going to expire at 8 o'clock, but they've canceled it early because, simply put, severe threats over in those areas. And really, I don't see any indication of it being extended, and I don't think it will. And there really isn't a need to. I mean, maybe Knoxville area and north and east, maybe, but not for us. I really don't see that watch being extended. It would have to take a sudden severe flare up to our south to make that happen, and I don't think that'll happen. I mean, it wouldn't be impossible, but if it does, it should stay south of us. But really, I think what's happening here as we get into the nighttime here, as we approach sunset and get into tonight, this is switching from a low-end severe risk to more of just general occasional heavy rain, maybe some thunder, but nothing severe. Again, I'll have more on that here in an hour or two with a written update. As long as things go as scheduled and we don't get any additional warnings, I'll have a update on that. On the more rain we got, that'll be moving in during the night, but it shouldn't be anything severe. Correct. Nothing too severe for Ringgold. Nothing that bad. Red Bank Hickson, just some rain moving in. It's actually moving in right now. So yeah, you'll be getting some rain shortly. Wind probably might have gotten a little gusty there on the leading edge, but nothing worrisome. Just rain for your area. Rain on Monteagle Mountain, no storms. Thank you for that report. And I think I answered Saudi already, but I'll answer it again. Just rain up that way. East Brainerd, wind probably gets a little gusty on the leading edge, but you just got rain. And what I can show here real quick also is here's the outflow boundary right here. So I'll turn on velocity here, and the outflow boundary is running about right here. So everything west of this, and I'm going to have to go over here to this other source to do this so I can actually zoom out without having to get rid of that marker. But so what I'll do is I'll switch over here and I'll draw it on here. So everywhere basically west, along and west of this line that I just drew on the map, you're good. So I'll even put it on the map here. I'm terrible at writing this on here, but you're clear from severe weather. All this back in here. South and east, I think you're in good. I believe you're in good shape here, mostly across North Georgia and the rest of East Tennessee. Can't rule out a stray, scattered, a stray, isolated, strong, or locally severe storm with gusty winds. But down in here, your threat's lowering as well. I won't say all clear just yet to the south and east of Chattanooga, but you're looking pretty good. I'll say you're looking good. You'll probably just have some rain and thunder. And then as the gust front moves in, you may have some gusty winds, but that's pretty much it. So back out here to the west, you're pretty much good. So this will not be one of those nights, and I want to put some minds at ease here. This will not be a night where you have to stay up all night. No need for that tonight. You can go to bed at normal time without any issues. That's the good thing about this. You don't have to worry about it. You can go to bed tonight and do what you normally do on a Tuesday night. So anything you normally do on a Tuesday night, you're open to do. If you do have to travel out for work or wherever that may be, getting home from somewhere, be careful. You'll definitely be more than likely, regardless of where you are, you're likely going to run into rain of some kind. You may run into heavy rain, so be very careful out there, especially on those roads. Especially on the interstates and such, because all that spray and stuff that comes up from when you get heavy downpours and such. So yeah, you definitely want to take it easy. But as far as the severe threat is concerned, very low at this point. Chickamauga, just rain down there, nothing to worry about. Yeah, but down in Scottsboro, you're going to get more heavy rain here. There's more heavy downpours building and thunder building down towards Coleman County and Marshall. So you're about to get more heavy thunderstorms down in here shortly. But these are non-severe. But this is all heading up in your direction. So you kind of follow the motion. It's heading right up towards Jackson and DeKalb County. So again, more heavy rain, more thunderstorm activity, but when I check the velocity products, I'm not seeing any signs of rotation. In fact, this is actually an elevated storm. These are elevated storms, so once that gust front slices through that, that cuts out any kind of rotation risk. So you're good on that end. So nothing to worry about there. Just rain and thunder. East Ridge, Fort Oglethorpe, just rain in that area. Yeah, East Ridge, Fort O, just rain. I mean, I know the dark clouds, especially on the leading edge of this, are going to look a little scary. They will, but I can assure you, I've checked everything. Velocities, everything. Nothing of concern. They're not tornadoes. Again, I mean, I know a lot of times, I know it's very easy to kind of misread certain clouds and think of them as, funnels or something when they're actually not. But in this case, you're likely getting a shelf cloud that's on the leading edge. That's typically what you get on the leading edge of a thunderstorm. It's non-tornadic. It's just a creepy looking cloud. That's basically what it is. So if you're seeing any kind of like scary looking cloud along the leading edge, it's nothing of worry. I mean, it looks frightening, but in reality, it's not. In this instance, for this event, it's not a big deal. Behind that, though, you'll get some heavy rain more than likely, and you may get a rumble or two. Wind may pick up a little, but nothing big. Appleton and Rossville, I'll answer both because it's pretty much the same here as far as like weather-wise here, as far as like rain. So yeah, you'll just get rain in those areas. Now the wind may pick up a little bit on the leading edge, but this is looking more like just a rain event for you guys in Appleton and Rossville and pretty much the whole metro area basically. Yep, that's true. SLCs, scary looking clouds, will always get you every time. That's very true. But the good thing is those are usually nothing to worry about. Alrighty guys, with that said here, since we don't have, and I'll double check to make sure we don't have anything else before I sign off so that way I don't have to run back here. Thankfully, I'm not seeing anything along that leading edge up there to the north, so alrighty, we're good. So with that said here guys, unless we get another warning that pops up here all of a sudden, I'm going to be signing off from this live stream. Again, I will post updates as necessary, and I'll try to do like hourly updates and stuff. So the next update you'll hear from me, as long as we don't have an additional warning, will be here in about 40 minutes. So about around 7 Central, 8 Eastern time, there'll be another radar update / radar check. So until then, when I'll see you then for that written update, I hope you guys have a safe evening. And as I said, we're pretty much good for the most part. But again, I'll let you know if anything severe were to pop up between now and tonight. I'll see you back here in about 30 to 40 minutes with another written update. Have a good evening.